Hello, you're very welcome to Destination Uri's Newsbite here on a Friday evening, and my name's Damian McCullough. I think what we're going to do, we're going to talk to the community associations, and hello to Mickey, Sinead, and Paddy. You're very welcome here to the start of the show, and great to have you on board here. Everybody looking happy and content on a Friday evening with the lockdown starting to sort of ease slightly. Some of the shopping centres and Uri's opened up, which is a good thing. But we'll talk about that later. So, Paddy, it's great to have you here. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to go to you first, and we're going to ask you what's happening in your part of the world. I know after your birthday last Sunday and all that, you had a very busy week. And let's hear what's happening now.
Yep, spot on, Damien. Thank you. We're going to wing it as usual this week, as you were saying. So pretty much, Damien, everything that we have been doing has been continuing on. Members of the association have been out all this week helping the council through the community hub to deliver food parcels to those who need it, for whatever reason within the community. And going on from that, that's where our community person of the week will come in. The community person for our area this week is going to be a young person who's actually on the association
Brilliant.
here in Threeways, and that's Caleb McShane. Caleb grew up through our youth club from a very young age, and actually came on to our youth committee at the time, and delivered a number of initiatives over the years for young people of our area. And from that, he has been involved in a lot of steering groups throughout the areas, highlighting key issues that affect young people, and putting them to light. One of the major successes that Caleb would have done is he actually was part of designing 3 videos that were shown in your Omniplex and are part of a model of excellence. And more recently, Caleb joined the association there in February, when he became the right age to do so. And from that, he's been very active along with ourselves in the community, promoting different initiatives. He's always there on hand. He's probably one of the most silent ones out of us in regards to not being seen doing things, but he has been there at the very front, doing a lot of work behind noticeable really, and delivering food parcels. And also a big thank you to Caleb. He is the community person of the week. We're absolutely delighted that it could be Caleb, and we just want to thank him for everything that he has done for the community. Since a very young age, he's one of these young people that have brought nothing but positivity and development in our area, and for that we're forever grateful to him. Next on, we have a few birthdays. Our first birthday is a 40th birthday, and that's to Catherine Keenan. I think Damien has Cal has a photo there of Catherine just celebrating her 40th birthday in lockdown, basically, with her close family and children. So happy birthday, Catherine, from everybody in Threeways, including your own family. And we hope you enjoyed the celebrations and what are very surreal times. We also have another 2 birthdays. One is a 21st birthday, and that's to Jill Jennings. So Jill has been a volunteer with Threeways, and she's a member of the area. So we want to wish her the happiest birthdays, and just hopefully she enjoys her celebrations. And next up is Cyril O'Reilly. Cyril is another member of our area and is very well known in the local area for sporting activities, especially with the Wimble. And he has provided nothing but a positive role for the area as well. So happy birthday, Cyril, and thank you for everything that you've done for your area. And moving on then from that, Damien, we have been, the association, I suppose, has been working away in the background. We've been liaising with Miriam Warren Council at the moment to get our facilities up and going the way that it should be. And we've been getting a bit of help through different political influences, just to move that forward. And we'll have to commend the council officials for supporting us in that and trying to move it further. So we're trying to get not the centre so much, because we can't really go into the centre, but the outside facilities where we can provide a number of activities. So we've been liaising with the council, as I said, but we also been liaising with different funders so that we can provide facilitators to come in and do social distancing activities in the rope walk, so to speak. So that's in the pipeline over the next couple of weeks. So we will be updating the community through our Facebook page, through our Instagram page, and through the website. So if people just want to keep an eye on that, all activities will be free of charge. We can't really say as of yet what them activities are going to be. Our association are meeting on Tuesday evening, socially distanced, and from there we'll have a list of activities that will be done over the next couple of weeks. One update just in regards to the centre is from Windmill Playgroup. They have a number of spaces available for starting back in September, and I just have a bit of information here about it. So there's a number of limited play school places available starting in September 2020. If your child is aged 3 on or before the 2nd of July, they can contact the Education Authority on the 028 959 85595, or they can email preschool admissions at eana.org.uk. Alternatively, they can also contact the leader in charge, which is Bernadette Heaney, on 079 287 47114 between the hours of 11 and 3. And Bernie will help with any advice there. So there's been different things happening again. We are battering away doing things that don't be heard about or told about in the community. As I say, things are starting now with the lockdown easing, and things are starting to pick up, and we will have a number of activities. So we're looking forward. Our youth projects are battering away, doing online workshops, and we've still been providing bingo. I suppose we've still been getting very positive numbers on that on a weekly basis, and it's running quite smoothly. So I just I dread the day that we have to turn around and tell them that we're not doing it online anymore. So there'll be ructions. And then just lastly, on behalf of the association, we would like to commend the Road Safety Charity NI, the Newry and Mourne Group. They recently put a documentary together through the Poly Project, and we actually promoted it right through our Facebook page and all there today. And we would ask anybody just to go and have a look at it on the Road Safety NI charity, or charities Newry and Mourne page. It's a 13 to 17 minute long video, but it's very hard hitting and very well put across. So we just want to commend the charity for that. Many of whom are from our local area and have been devastated just by the actions of what has happened. So for them to go and put that in the film is really, really, really spectacular. So thank you to them, and well done. And Damian, that's really us. There's just a wee thing coming up there.
Mass destruction if used recklessly. A car is a lethal weapon.
We're angry that somebody not paying attention to the road has taken him from us.
You are not invincible. No one is invincible.
Mistakes end up costing lives. I feel like I'm no longer living. I'm just surviving.
It only takes 5 seconds to lose your concentration, to do something you know you shouldn't. It all goes wrong in those 5 seconds.
So as you can see there, that's it. So just if anybody has time, just go and watch it. It's very well put together. A very, very good thing. So just commend again the charity for that. So Damian, as far as things go this week, that's really all that's been happening for us. So I'm sure we'll have more of a better update next week once the association meets.
Listen,
so thanks very much.
Again, thanks a million. And I think maybe your bingo could be an online sensation coming towards the winter time. So
I know what they do.
I'd be watching that one, hey, and keeping it for the dark, wet nights coming up aboard. And if there's a big take up on it, it is particularly for the older people and what have you. It's great for them. But listen, thanks a million again. A good roundup, and the video is very sober. And I have watched it, and we have talked about it here in Destination Newry this week as well. And it is very, very. I suppose it's a very sobering thing, and it's a very serious issue. And we would be saying to all our young people, and even anybody, watch. The 5 seconds can change your life forever. So please be careful. So Paddy, listen, thanks a million, and we'll do this all again next Friday night. And now we're going to go from Newry, and we're going to go down not too far. We're going to go down the dual carriageway, and we're going to go to see Mickey and Sinead. And Sinead, how are you? I can see you there, Sinead. Your head's just about right now. So I know you last week, you had you up at the big TV, and you says, "Mommy, you made it. You're on the big TV in the house." So great to have you on board here again.
Yeah.
And Mickey, great to have you back here. So lots happening down in the point.
Hello. Are you there, Damian? Will we fire on? I think we'll turn on, Mickey, will we?
Yeah, we can do. Just to let Damian get back up and running again.
Yeah, no problem. So do you want to take it away?
Yeah, we just start off first. Obviously, first thing we want to talk about is that we've been working along with the council to get the sand put back on the beach area around by the baths in the town. It has something that was there in years gone by, but lately it hasn't been replenished. It's sort of been working along with the council to get the proper license in place that allows us to do that. Obviously, with COVID and everything that has happened this last number of months, it has held everything back, but I have been in touch with council during the week and we're working actively to try to get the beach sanded in the next couple of weeks for the summer months. Obviously, there'll not be too many people going on holidays this summer, so it's vitally important that we use all our own local assets, and one of them is the seafront in Warrenpoint. So I'm sure mothers and fathers and their kids would enjoy that there. So we hope that in the next couple of weeks that will become a reality.
Yeah, I'd say mine too will be the first time to test out the sand on the beach. I suppose another thing as well, just when we're talking all things to do with the lock, the Warrenpoint Harbor AGM is the 23rd of June, I believe. So obviously with COVID and things like that, it's not possible to hold the public AGM, but it will be held virtually. And certainly the Warrenpoint Harbor and personally myself, I would encourage anybody who has any questions that they want to put to the harbour, any comments, any issues they want to raise, yeah, you can certainly do that. So I think the Harbour Authority are asking that we, if we have any questions or any input, that we email by this Tuesday, the 16th of June, and they should be in before 5 p.m. So if there's anything you want raised at the Harbour AGM, certainly encourage people to do so, and you can send those in at info@warrenpointharbor.co.uk.
Yeah, just to come in on that there, Sinead, obviously we ourselves would be aware that in the town over the last year or so, there's been a lot of interest in the new gas facility that's been put in the harbour, and people's concerns with what the actual gas is, and obviously the visuals of it as well isn't great coming off the roundabout. So this is an opportune time for people to question the Harbour Authority on that issue as well as other ones.
Yeah, I suppose, Carlingford Lock's very precious to all of us who live down here, and I think it's up to all of us to, we all have a vested interest in it. So certainly, we need to we need to sort of, work together to try and preserve our natural habitat, and that means engaging with all relevant bodies, including the port. So yeah, absolutely encourage people to be feeding in and to be getting involved in the AGM.
Okay, I don't think Damian's coming back in with us yet. We'll just move on maybe then. Sinead, obviously we've touched on the sanding of the beach, and we've mentioned the harbour, and an issue that is ongoing in Warrenpoint as well as other places is dogfighting, and it's an issue that's brought to our attention on numerous occasions, time after time, and we would just encourage people to if you have your dog out for a walk, that you clean up after you. It is extremely unsightly. Our council staff members do a fantastic job trying to keep the seafront clean. They're out from the very early hours of the morning. The waste that they lift, and I would also encourage people to not litter as much either. If our guys didn't come out in the morning and left it one morning, I think people might appreciate how bad it actually is. But most definitely the dogfighting one it's not good enough. We started earlier on in the programme by saying that we're looking to get the beach sanded, but at the same time people are allowing their dogs to foul along the seafront and the pathways leading up to it. So there's a positive in getting the beach sanded, but the negative is that unfortunately there is people out there who still allow their dogs to foul. That's not taken away from the many people who take their dogs for a walk and do clean up after them and put their waste in the bins after them. But we just encourage people to be mindful of others and those around them who are using the seafront.
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive scourge. I know it's something that, I deal with quite regularly. And it really vexes people and it really annoys people. I know there are, the vast majority of people are dog owners. But you know, if we can just put it out there and put it in people's minds again, look, you know, we're coming into the summer. Apparently, you wouldn't know by the weather, but you know, we will have an increase of people using their front shore again as we move out of lockdown as well. And it's just to appeal to people as well. Please be mindful. Please be responsible. And definitely, you know, get the litter bags. We can help you. We can point you in the right direction if you contact myself or Mickey in terms of the dog litter bags. But certainly, you know, let's just make a big effort just to try and tackle that collectively. You know, I suppose as well, Mickey. You know, on a less positive note, we did have a break-in this week in the Duke off license on Duke Street in Warrenpoint. Again, terrible when you think about the fact that you know businesses are trying to recover from COVID and the crisis that we've just come through. Like it's certainly the last thing that people need to be dealing with. So you know, the early hours of Sunday morning passed. Unfortunately, people broke into the Duke and attempted to steal the safe. So listen, we join in the call, you know, the appeal for information, and certainly if anybody has information in regards to the Duke and to the break-in that occurred there, please do contact the PSNI via their 101 number.
Yeah, I just endorse what Sinead said there. Is the Duke off license, Rami O'Hare, who owns it, it's a prominent business in the town and has been for many years, and it's unfortunate that there's these types of guys who are out there when everybody else is trying to get on with life. They are forever involved in the negatives like break-ins, etc. Hard-earned, a business trying to make a hard-earned living, and for this to happen, it's absolutely disgraceful.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I suppose then as well, just some works Warrenpoint are carrying on their good work in terms of producing PPE, and certainly another big batch of their visors have gone out this week, and I think many of the local schools, not just here in Warrenpoint or South Down, from South Armagh, Newry, and other parts locally, have been contacting St Mark's. So in conjunction with St Mary's, as we said last week, they've produced over 6,000 pieces of PPE equipment. So again, just a big thank you to everybody at St Mark's and the big effort that's gone into that and producing that vital PPE equipment and the visors for people who again may not be just at the front of the queue to get it. So again, just another big push from St Mark's this week, and just thanks to everybody who's behind that and everybody who's volunteered.
Yeah, I totally endorse that as well, again, from Sinead. Another issue that we wanted to raise tonight was that a young man from Warrenpoint who was involved in a traumatic experience in his younger days has come up with an initiative, You Never Arrive at Life, which is obviously a topic that's quite prevalent at the moment, is to do with mental health. And Micheál O'Hare is his name. He's from the town here. He plays for Warrenpoint GAA club and has done for a number of years. And what actually happened in Micheál's life was when he played for Warrenpoint when he was around 16, 17 years of age. One evening they were playing Rostrevor out, obviously in Rostrevor, and a teammate, Patrick Densmore, unfortunately died on the pitch that particular evening. Micheál and his friends obviously tried to deal with that as best they could at that particular time. For the club, the coaches, I know myself, my own brother was actually the manager of the team at that time, and I mind being down in the GAA club the morning after, and it was a pretty somber time. It was really a time when people really didn't know where to turn. They tried their best to help each other, and I know other local clubs came down as well, chairs and club members, players. But this is Micheál's sort of idea of how it affected him, in his later life. And on the screen now you can see Micheál is now a teacher himself. So this is his.
I want to explain to you a bit about
he's trying to, in his way, get it across to people of how you deal with a situation like this, be it the traumatic event that he was involved in or other issues that young people deal with in general in life. So we would encourage people to actually, the details will come up on the screen. We'd encourage people to go on, have a listen to that. It's not just something that he's done I think it's about 13 minutes long. He does add to it weekly. He has other sports personalities who have come in and are doing videos for him and are helping him out in his initiative. The incident actually itself took place back in 2010, and it was just shortly before Down and Kildare played in the All-Ireland semi-final, I think that was back then. And I mind that day myself too, that there was Patrick's portrait was put up on the big screens in Croke Park as a tribute to him and his family. So it is a fantastic initiative from Micheál, and we wish him well with it, and we'd encourage any young person out there to have a look at it and see what they can get out of actually the video itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic. And I think, mental health and how we deal with having poor mental health is such a big issue, so prevalent, especially among young people. So anything, any outlet, any avenue for information sharing or for signposting is definitely welcome. It's so needed. And again, just reiterate what Mickey said, just wish Micheál all the best. And I'm sure maybe at some point he we might have him on this show as well, and he can talk obviously about the venture from a personal point of view. But we just wanted to highlight it and to let people know that resources are, and you can contact Micheál either by his website or through Facebook.
Yeah, and just now a point to mention on it, and maybe not everybody's aware, but the county under-21 tournament is actually named after Patrick Densmore, who was the young fella who died on that particular evening. So I'm sure there's young people who have won that trophy in the years just gone by, but that's exactly why it was named in his honour. Just moving on then, maybe sticking with St Peter's GAA Club, and I'm sure it's the same with a lot of the other clubs in the district and in the area. Their Club Lotto starts back this weekend, and they are up on £13,000 at this moment in time. The tickets are available from the usual sources. They now have I'm not sure what you would call it, but if you go into the Vivo on the Bourne Road in Warrenpoint, they have like a wee booth area set up where the tickets are available and people can actually source them from there. Obviously Linda's and a few of the other places that they would normally be available from. So as I say, it's £13,000. I'm sure somebody would welcome that amount of money, and it goes towards the club and the great need that any club has for funds at this particular time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Burn as well maybe had their lotto back in the last couple of weeks too. And it's so important because obviously clubs are down revenue just throughout the COVID crisis. So it's very important that we give something back and really get behind the lotto effort of all the clubs locally. So that's it for me. I suppose just to say before we sign off, I'm not sure if Mickey, if you have anything else to add. I think it's, we have to be mindful that today is Friday and while the wider retail sector has opened up, I think we just need to be mindful that it was the local businesses and retail shops and news agents locally here in Warrenpoint that were really there for us and really helped us through the crisis by staying open. So I think we just need to that shop local mantra. I think we just need to bear that in mind just while wider retail opens. I know we're all busy. We all can't wait to get out and maybe have a look around the shops. But I think we just need to bear in mind that it's always good to shop local, and we need to support our local retailers.
Yeah, and I think to add that there, what we don't need to do at this moment in time is to abandon the local shops because of the shopping centres, etc., opening up again. I think there's a place for everyone, and just to show our support locally as well. Just to add, Sinead, the only other thing I can think of at this moment in time is that the public toilets in the town should be open back up, if not already in the next couple of days. So I know that was another issue. Obviously, the numbers increasing in the town in the last number of weeks, and hopefully with the good weather returning, that'll be something that people will appreciate.
Yep.
I think that's all from our two selves, Sinead.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to go in there. Listen, Mickey, Sinead, thanks for that. Just a couple of questions in relation to the harbour. I'm just reading that the British government will not extend the Brexit deal, so it looks at the end of the year there's going to be no extension to the time. So it looks as if Brexit is going to happen really hard. And I don't know, Sinead or Mickey, if there's going to be a deal. It's looking maybe there's not going to be a deal, then that's going to have a huge economic effect here, particularly in Warrenpoint, because Warrenpoint's one of the biggest ports, and I would be of the opinion that there will be an EU border post in Warrenpoint Harbor. Would that be correct?
I suppose we can't say for definite at this moment in time, but what we do know is that at one stage the council had earmarked the former barracks as a site for a new community centre, and negotiations were taking place into acquiring that site, and everything was going as we would have hoped. And then at the last minute, that site then, along with 2 other sites across the north, they were then pulled. And the reason given at that particular time was that it may be needed for a customs post type of place. So most definitely there is going to be some type of facility in the town, whether it's outside the harbour or within the harbour. That's something we'll find out in due course.
I think it would make sense to be in the harbour, Mickey. But the other thing then, Sinead, last week you spoke about the bridge across the water. Any more developments this week from the hill on the bridge?
Well, following on from our discussion last Friday, I contacted the Infrastructure Minister, Nicola Mallon, just to invite her to come down and meet the Narrow Water Bridge Community Network. Because I don't know if I mentioned last week, she was supposed to come down on the 18th of March, but unfortunately, due to that had to be cancelled. So I've written to Nicola to invite her to come back down. I've also written to her private office just to say, look, we need to get this show on the road basically, and we need to see some movement. We need to see the commitment that was in the New Decade, New Approach. So we need to see some action on it. So I'm fairly positive that we can in the next short while, in the next few months, get the ball rolling. I think we need to make sure that at the next North-South Ministerial Council that Narrow Water Bridge is on the agenda. So that's something certainly I'll be asking the Infrastructure Minister to do. So it's very much a desire, and it's very much a positive project, not just for Warrenpoint but for the entire South Down region. It would just open it all up, and there's such potential in terms of tourism as well, and the economic benefits of getting those tourists into South Down. So it's as far as we're concerned, it's full steam ahead, and it's certainly a priority for me.
I know last week you said you were going to keep their feet close to the fire. It looks as if you're doing that, Sinead. So we wish you well with that. And of course, when the minister comes down, Destination Uri would love to be there and maybe have a little interview with her. So hopefully you can work that for us as well. So Mickey, listen, thanks a million. And what you're talking about around the point in the Dogfighting, we've heard that right across all the community associations in the Newry and Mourne area, and it's maybe something that the council, maybe I don't know if they have a sort of a plan about doing something about that, but maybe when you get back to talking at the council, maybe it's something that the council could take on board and maybe really drive it home to the people, and I think that would be much appreciated. So it is a huge factor right across all the community associations. Everyone that we've spoken to have brought this up time and time and time again. So again, I would ask you, when you go back to the council, maybe you could put a wee bit more pressure on the powers that be there, that right across the whole of the area, that something could be done and we could see an improvement on it. Not everybody's doing it, there's no question about that, but unfortunately it's the small few that makes it bad for the big crew. So listen, Sinead, thanks a million, and Mickey, thanks a million for all the happenings down around Warrenpoint, a lovely part of the world, and it's good to see the shops opening up again. And yeah, we always say keep local, support local, and we'll all stay local. And of course, this is a local station here, and we're delighted to be able to bring this to everybody. So thanks to everybody for being involved this week. And now, before we go, we have a couple of wee things. Did you know that we have a COVID testing centre in Newry? Well, we'll maybe see a little video about that later on, but I'm going to just give you the news now. So if you bear with me, the coronavirus update. 1 new coronavirus-related death in Northern Ireland. That brings a total of 539. And while in the Republic, 3 more people have died since yesterday, and the total there is 1705. The total deaths in the island of Ireland to date is 2,244. And confirmed cases in the Republic of Ireland of coronavirus is 2,244. 202 people have died in the United Kingdom in the last 24 hours, and a total of 41,000 481 people have died in the UK due to the coronavirus. 292,950 confirmed cases of coronavirus in the United Kingdom. In Scotland, the figures show that 2,442 patients in Scotland have died after a positive test of COVID-19, although the actual number of deaths is known to be far higher. Weekly data published by the National Records of Scotland shows that up to the 7th of June there were 4,000 deaths registered in Scotland. In Wales, Public Health Wales has reported a further 10 deaths with coronavirus, taking their total to 1,435. Back here local, there are 291 confirmed cases in Warrenpoint and Down, and in the same area there are 45 confirmed COVID-related deaths. There are 539 confirmed cases in Armagh City, Banbridge and Craigavon, and in that same area there are 78 confirmed deaths. The UK's decision not to seek a Brexit extension is no surprise, Northern Ireland First Minister Arlene Foster has said, after the Deputy First Minister described it as shameful and reckless. Michelle O'Neill criticised the decision after it was announced by Cabinet Minister Michael Gove. He was speaking after a meeting of a joint UK-EU committee which is overseeing Brexit. Both Ms Foster and Ms O'Neill took part in the meeting remotely. Brexit is expected to happen on the 1st of January 2021. Ms O'Neill said she had made clear today that it is obvious that the EU does not feel sufficient progress has been made by the British government on implementing its protocol obligations. It is completely careless and shameful for the British government not to seek an extension to the transition period, and it shows complete disregard for our local economy, which is facing a huge shock as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, speaking to RTE, Ms Foster said it was no surprise that the British government had stuck to its stated position. This was the position they were elected on last December, and they would get Brexit done, that there wouldn't be any extensions, she told RTE. I've been saying that talking to colleagues in the executive for quite some time, so not really surprised. I think that what we really need to see happening now is clarity for our businesses. New government could be in place in a matter of weeks, says Leo Varadkar. The Taoiseach has said there was a strong possibility that a programme for government would be agreed in the next couple of days. At a briefing this afternoon at Dublin Castle, Leo Varadkar said a new government could be in place by the last week in June or early July to renew the Offences Against the State Act. His comments came after steady progress was reported to have been made overnight in talks, with further negotiations on topics such as agriculture, transport and housing expected to take place following today's cabinet meeting. Though narrowing of difference in difficult areas such as agriculture and reducing greenhouse gas emissions is believed to have injected some momentum into the negotiating progress. Negotiations for Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and the Green Party concluded their deliberations after midnight, with sources saying that progress continues to be made on multiple fronts. Fine Gael Deputy Leader Simon Coveney told his party's TDs and senators last night that outstanding issues remain and the talks process could well continue for another few days, raising the possibility of a deal next week. However, indications from Fianna Fáil and the Green Party suggest that a weekend agreement is still possible. Premier League. Fans want City and Liverpool game to go ahead at the Etihad Stadium. Liverpool supporters group, the Spirit of Shankly, has asked for input into the decision on where next month's match against Manchester City should be played. The fixture on the 2nd of July is the only Premier League match in the rearranged 2019-20 calendar without a confirmed venue. Manchester City's Council Safety Advisor Group will decide whether the Etihad Stadium can be used for the match, and the SOS says it is vital fans are given a voice in these decisions. The group tweeted, "The venue for just one Premier League game, Man City vs Liverpool, is yet to be confirmed," and they said, "believe that this should be played in Manchester at the Etihad Stadium." We asked for fan input into the police safety advisory meeting on this fixture. Earlier this week, the Safety Advisor Group for Liverpool City Council gave the go-ahead for the Merseyside Derby to be played at Goodison Park on the 21st of June, which has been the only other fixture with an unconfirmed venue. On the 29th of May, the UK's Football and Police Lead, Deputy Chief Constable Mark Roberts of South Yorkshire Police said local forces had requested 5 matches to be played at neutral venues. They were Manchester City vs Liverpool, the Manchester Derby, Manchester United vs Sheffield United and Manchester City vs Newcastle and Newcastle vs Liverpool. The latter three are still listed to be played at the regular home venues on the Premier League's website, with only City and Liverpool game to be confirmed. And the Premier League resumes on the 17th of June, which is next Wednesday, with Aston Villa taking on Sheffield United and City hosting Arsenal. Well, we're looking forward to that. And as I did say earlier on, though, we did talk about a COVID testing centre in Uri, and we had our cameraman out today, and we got a little video. So just sit back and watch this.
How people enter the COVID-19 mobile testing site. As you can see, you enter via the leisure centre and not the meadow. You come through along the road. The signs will direct you to the COVID site. You will come in. One of the guys will be there. When you get here, they will ask you for a QR code. You will get the QR code from the government website. When you log on to the government website, it will give you timings of when the different time slots are available, and it will give you the QR code. That will give you access to the site. When you get access to the site, once you get in, you will come down. The next two guys will give you a quick brief as to what you're going to do and issue you with a testing kit. Once they issue with the testing kit, you will then move to the testing area.
Is this the first part where you get a testing kit?
This is where you get the testing kit. If we move on round, I'll show you where the testing area is. The guys that are going to be issuing with the testing kit and the guys that are going to be talking to you in the testing area, they talk to you in slow time so as you can understand exactly what is meant, so as no one needs to panic. There is no need for any panic or anything like that. That black car there that you can see in front of you, that is in the testing area, and the lady there is talking them through what they need to do with the testing kit. The test involves taking a swab and swabbing the back of your mouth on the left-hand side, your mouth on the right-hand side, swabbing each nostril on the left and the right. You then put the swab into a container. The container gets sealed up, and then at the van here, they will take the package off you and place it into the cooling storage, which is inside the van. Once they've done that, then you exit through the top part. You exit through the top part of the car park, turn left, and back down towards the leisure centre again. And it's as simple as that. If you register via the website, get your time slot.
When you say a register, what does that mean? Is this somebody that feels they've got some symptoms of?
No,
no.
You don't need to have symptoms. It gives you all the information you require on the government website. The only thing you need to do is take a little bit of time to enter your details. It'll be name, address, telephone number, email address, and things like that. And that data is captured by them, and it then gives you access to go back later on to check the results. And you'll exit straight down past the leisure centre on the left-hand side and out the door.
You don't know what that government website is, no?
If you Google COVID-19 mobile testing or COVID-19 government gov.ni, whatever it is, I'm not sure.
And this is the one for Newry, or is there more?
This is the one for Newry. This one will be here today till approximately 3:30, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 10 o'clock till 3:30.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Well, there we go. Just people probably didn't know about that. So we have a COVID testing centre in the where the big centre is in Newry there, and you can look at this later. So at least that's something. Probably if the weather changes, they'll probably have some sort of cover on them. So at least that's good news for the area, and it's good news that the shops is opening up again. So listen, thanks to everybody for tuning in this week to Destination Newry. Remember, we're local, we're keeping it local, and we're giving out local news, and we're delighted that you're on board with us here. So we'll do this all again on Monday. Thanks for watching Destination Newry.